Hi everyone, it's me, Ash, and I am going to do a eyeshadow tag video. I watched Bean do these questions, and the original person's name is Angela or Angelique or something like that. I will make sure to put her video down below, as well as the questions. So if you do YouTube, I'd love to see yours, and if you don't, then I would love to have your answers down below and we can chat. Please like and subscribe, that would be amazing. And if you're not new here, hi, and if you are new here, thank you for joining me. The first question is if I were to pick an eyeshadow palette in my collection that represents me by the color story, what would that be? And I picked the Wicked Sisters palette. It looks like this. It's dark and rainbowy all at the same time. It also has this really awesome pressed glitter. I think that this represents me the most. Just mostly it's a rainbow palette with a little bit of dark to it, so yeah. Okay. Question number 2 is if I were to pick an eyeshadow palette in my collection that represents me by the packaging, what would that be? I picked the Misunderstood palette by ColourPop. This palette represents me. I oftentimes feel completely misunderstood. I don't think anybody understands me, and I don't understand myself even. So yeah. The color story is not the original. My daughter and I, mostly my daughter, created a different color story because I didn't like it. So sorry about that. The next question is question number 3, and it says if I would pick an eyeshadow palette in my collection that represents spring, what would that be? Sorry, my kitty makes noise. Okay, so I picked the Midas Cosmetics Flower Bomb palette. I mean, it screams spring, right? I think so. Like, I love it. Question number 4 is if I were to pick a palette that represents happy, what would that be? I found this to be really hard. I almost picked the Midas Cosmetics Lemonade palette, but I didn't. I ended up landing on the Give Me Glow Christmas Morning palette. It looks like this, and I picked this palette because, oh my gosh, you hear my kitty? Okay, I picked this palette because I love Christmas morning, I love December, I love the cozy, warm feelings that it makes me feel. And yeah, I just love watching my kids open gifts on Christmas. That's why I picked this one. It just makes me feel warm and cozy and happy. Okay, so if I were to pick a palette that was dark and grungy in me, represented dark and grungy in me, what would that be? I picked the Shroud Cosmetics Arcana palette. This is what it looks like. I love it. It's dark and grungy and jewel toned, and I think it represents the dark and grungy in me most. I like this next question very much. It's if I were to pick the most girly palette in my collection, what would that be? I feel like that's kind of a social construct and yada yada. I'm not really going to get into that, but so I just went ahead and picked what most people think of when they think of girly, which is pink. So yeah, I picked the Smoky Glow palette because the outside of it is girly, quote unquote, which I think, you know, I just picked this because the outside and the inside, and that's your typical American stereotypical girly. Question number 7 was a challenging question for me. It's if you were to pick a palette in your collection that represents fun, what would that be? I just went ahead and picked the Glamlight Street Taco palette because I thought the packaging was fun and the color story was kind of fun, and just the overall theme is just, it's fun, I guess. I don't know. That was a really hard one because, yeah, I don't know. Question number 8, the last and final question is, if you were to pick a palette out of your collection that makes you feel inspired or gives you inspiration, what would that be? I actually ended up picking 2. I picked the Ace Beauté, probably said that wrong, Nostalgic palette. This is what she looks like. Look at that color story and keep that in mind. It's actually kind of similar, and it makes sense as to why I would pick this one as well, which is the Nikkie Tutorials Beauty Bay palette. And this is what she looks like. But if you look at that green and the yellow and the orange and the red, it kind of makes sense as to why I picked this one too. The green and the yellow and the orange and the red. I don't know. Anyways, these both make me feel really inspired when I look at them and when I play with them. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun answering these questions and looking at my palettes. So yeah, please like, subscribe, comment below, tell me what palettes represent you, and yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.